I have a daughter at the age of 13. She was in high school freshman year, and I caught her doing ecstasy. That was her drug of choice at the time. And from there, we put her in treatment, and she was in there for a year, and she did okay. And so then I had one of her friends came clean to me and told me that Alyssa was doing a drug called bath salts. I had never heard of it. And so I told her, I want to drug test you. It came up clean, but then her dad and I sat her down, and she finally admitted to us that she was doing a drug called bath salts. So we put her back in treatment for that. And then she got out, and about a year and a half later, we found out she was doing heroin. That was a devastating day. I went in her room to wake her up, and I noticed she had a safe in her room. And I was like, my house, my rules. I'm gonna look in her safe and see what's in there. And I found this little box, and it had like spoons and this black stuff in a paper. So I woke my son up, and I was like, what is this? And he says, Mom, it's some kind of a drug. I don't know. And I said, well, call your friend at the treatment center and find out what it is, because I don't know what to say to her. And then he sat me down afterwards, and he's like, Mom, Alyssa's doing heroin. I remind you, I don't come from a world of drugs at all, never done drugs. And people I hung around in school and stuff, I've never been in the world of drugs. And so this was all new. I totally lost it, and I wanted to go upstairs and just wring her neck. But my son's like, no, Mom. He called his dad, and he came over. We all sat down. We put her in treatment again. But then someone who she had been dating had passed away, and they felt that it would be good for her to at least go, because to see someone that didn't make it, and this could be you. And so we took her to the funeral, and we took her to the after at the house, and it was devastating to me. You know, here's this family who loved their son just as much as I love my daughter, and you don't know what drugs do to you. And to see this happen to them and know that it could be my child that is the one that we're burying, it was devastating. Alyssa ended up leaving there and going, and then I didn't see her again for probably a month. And from that point on, I didn't see my daughter for probably 3 years off and on. I know she was living in the ravines, and living at different people's houses, losing clothes, basically losing her whole life and her family. You want so much for your kids. You want them to be so healthy. You want them to come home and enjoy Christmas. I don't know how many Christmases, Thanksgivings, Halloweens, how many she has missed over the years. Now, my daughter's been to 31 different treatment centers over the years. She's been an addict for 9 years. And she's OD'd 6 times over the last 9 years. And it's been 9 years of literally hell. I don't even know who she is anymore. You know, when an addict is an addict and they're still feeling the pain of their addiction, and they're still feeling the pain of just doing their drugs, they don't want to listen to anything you have to say. I have never given up on her. I hear of all these people and the parents and the sisters and brothers talk, and they're like, just let him go. I could never do it, because Alyssa is my blood. I love her to death no matter what. I don't believe in what she does or what she did, but I always believed in my heart that someday she would have a life, a good chance at life. My hopes for my daughter in the future are, I hope that she stays successful. Right now, she actually gets out at RSAT in 3 weeks and 6 days. Can you tell I'm an excited parent? She's been clean for 8.5 months the day she gets out. She's healthy, she's happy, she's so looking forward to the future and to being around family. I hope she stays on her road to recovery. I know I'll do everything in my power to help her any way I can. We as parents, it is not just an addict's addiction. I mean, it's like a family addiction, because if one person in your family is an addict, it involves the whole family. And it can tear your family apart, literally. And it can just do a lot of damage. And so I think as a family, you have to stick together. Don't ever give up on your child or your loved one, because it's an addict. They're lost in their addiction, and there's hope after addiction.